communication. You must establish the lines of communication, not only with your professors, but your family, even your friends in certain cases, man. You have to establish those lines of communication because that will ultimately lead to your success as a student while active duty. For professors, you will be pleasantly surprised when you find out that a lot of professors, college professors, instructors, they're willing to work with you, but you have to have those conversations. I always tell people, stay away from rate my professor starting out, right? Because some people are glass half empty, others are glass half full. So reach out to your professor. They tend to have office hours. A lot of times they'll send you an introduction email before the class starts. Write those questions down and then take that time to reach out to your professor. I do this early on as a student because I had a lot of pride, maybe some ego. I came from, a horrible college experience my first time around. So I just kind of had that, I can figure it out. I'll get it done. I was late 20s, I believe, when I started my higher educational journey, but this time I was serious. So I didn't really ask any questions. But once I started doing that, I would email the professor. I would have my questions laid out, right? Or I would call those office hours. Hey, what is your policy for early submission? Because sometimes that's a good alternative. If you have a hectic work schedule while you're active duty military or at work in general, get your assignments done early, submit them early. How many points are you going to take off of this? But you have to communicate the fact that you're an active duty service member or that you have duty. Something else to consider is discussion boards. Now they'll have it laid out in a rubric, how many points that you'll get for your initial posts, for replies. Sometimes professors will lay it out over the week because they want to show engagement, but you got to keep that in mind. So sir, ma'am, doctor, professor, whatever they prefer to be called, if I only submit my initial discussion post, how many points will I get for that? I might not be able to reply to my classmates over the week. What if I only get, one reply in? How many points will I get for that? You got to try to get as many of these questions answered up front. It'll help you. If you're taking an online quiz and it times out or it freezes and then you refresh and then you go into freak mode, man, send that email right then and there if possible. Professor, I just tried to take this quiz. It timed out. I don't know what's going on. Take your phone. Take a snapshot of that screen. Screenshot. You got to have all your ducks in a row when things like this happen. Family. Communicate with your family that you're about to make this pursuit of your higher education or you're possibly about to start this next degree. You will be sacrificing some of that time in most cases, but if you have that conversation early, you'll realize that the support system will help you more than anything. I tell people all the time that my girl, not only did she help me with submitting some of my assignments when I was on deployment or would be underway, she was my editor for my papers, for my second bachelor's and my first 2 masters. So before I would go underway for maybe a week or 2 weeks or for a deployment, hey, I'm supposedly not going to have internet during these times. Here's my password. Here's my username. Please submit this paper. I'm going to email that to you. Submit it at this time. That way I can try to get max points. Even with your kids, lay it out. Hey, buddy, I got to make sure I do this assignment. But afterwards, we can, do whatever you have planned. Sometimes children just need to know. They want to know. Friends in your circle. Man, if your peoples is really your peoples, they gonna understand that you're trying to better yourself no matter what. There's not too much you can say about that, man. I'm just being honest with you. Yeah, try your best to establish those lines of communication with those individuals, right? Your professors, your family, your friends. Talk to your kids about this stuff. You will be surprised how much stress is lifted off your shoulders when you establish these lines of communication. If you're talking to the professor and you happen to get that answer that you were, seeking back over email right before you go on watch or something like that, now you just got to stand there long watch.